can be a man of courage, of honor, of integrity. You can be the father, the husband, the leader that your family and your community needs. This is the Manlihood ManCast. Here's your host, Josh Hatcher.
Hey guys, welcome to the Manlihood ManCast. I'm your host, Josh Hatcher. So listen, as this podcast is being recorded, we are in the middle of a global pandemic, which, that's a lot of fun, right? This is definitely an unprecedented situation, and there's a lot of crazy and a lot of things going on. I think it's, there's a lot of stress associated with it, and I think it's putting a lot of people to the test in a lot of different ways. So, I kind of want to talk about some things that maybe, though, aren't just specific to COVID-19 and coronavirus, but may also be very applicable to where we're at today. So, first of all, regarding the COVID-19 coronavirus, the pandemic, the stuff that is literally all that you hear about on the news and the internet right now, first, I want to address that. I want to say this. Stay safe, be smart, and be prepared. So, everybody's local and state governments really are the ones that are calling the shots for what this looks like. So, wherever it is that you're at, just listen to what they're telling you. So, where we're at in Pennsylvania, we are being advised to use social distancing, which is being very cautious and careful how and where you spend time with people, if at all, unless you're an essential worker or if you are, it means you're not having house parties. Doesn't mean that you can't have your family or your neighbor come over to visit or something like that. It does not mean that, but it does mean that we need to be smart about it. We need to be cautious about it. That's where I'm at. There are places in New York State, and there are even places here in Pennsylvania where the governor has said these counties are under a stay-at-home order. In other words, don't leave the house unless you're going to just get groceries or go to the doctor or something else to sustain your life. In those cases, those requirements are a little bit different. So we definitely want to be safe and smart, and we also need to be prepared, because I'm going to tell you, do you have what you need in your home to take care of things if things were to go south? Do you have the ability, the skills that you need to survive if things do get bad? I have a feeling I think they're going to get better. I mean, we're going to see a lot more numbers here pretty soon as more and more people are tested and as it spreads a little bit, but it is getting better. We are not going to see, I don't think, the numbers that they first talked about. I'm just saying, though, regardless of any situation, it's good to be prepared. Do you have supplies to feed your family? Do you have enough where if something went wrong, you've got enough toilet paper to last you for a couple months? I think a lot of people didn't think about that until there was a toilet paper shortage, and then there was a problem. So it's a good lesson that we can learn as we move forward from this, that we want to be prepared and be on top of things to make sure that our family is provided for. But we are definitely in uncertain times, and they're causing a lot of people to lose hope. So we'll get into that right after this.
Hey folks, I get a lot of people asking me, how do I do a podcast? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, the absolute best option that I found is Anchor, Anchor.fm. It's free, and in fact, you have the opportunity to make some money with Anchor. Before Anchor, I used another podcasting host and I actually paid money, and I haven't made a lot from Anchor, but I made enough to pay back what I lost using the other guys. So it's really it's a great option. It's easy, it's free. There's creation tools that you can use right on your phone to create your podcast, and they're going to distribute it to Spotify, Apple Podcast, and a lot of other places that people listen to podcasts with. It's fantastic. So you don't even have to have that many people listening to your podcast to be able to make a little bit of cash back. So it's really cool. And if you take off and make it big, you're going to make a lot more money. So I highly recommend it. If it's something you want to look into, please download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started.
Guys, it's Josh Hatcher. Welcome back to the Manlihood ManCast. I am really glad you guys are tuning in today. I have had a little bit of a hiatus. I have not been able to give this as much time as I wanted. I've been busy with work and with some home repairs and some other things, so I'm really excited to kind of be delving back into this. Part of it is because if you are, you may be listening to this podcast as I'm releasing it, or within a few days or a week of releasing it, or you may be listening to this podcast months or years from now, because that's kind of how this works. This platform, an episode can have a long tail, which means it's out there. And you might just be finding this podcast 2 years from the time that it's recorded and listening to all the episodes. So to give you a quick synopsis of what's going on, COVID-19, coronavirus, everybody knows about it. Everybody knows what it's doing. Everybody is familiar with this situation that is going on. That's what's happening right now. Things are crazy. So if you're listening to this well in the future, you know that things got better. You know that it got better. You know that things did get better and that we survived this and that it wasn't the end of the world, which that's a good thing, right? So those of us who are listening to it now, remember that in 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, somebody's going to be listening to this podcast and they know that we made it through. So I kind of want to talk to that. I want to speak to this moment that we're in, but I think that this moment we're in and what we're feeling is something that is timeless. There is something timeless to this. There is something that we're going to have to face many times over in our life. And Victor Hugo, who's an amazing author, and he said this, and I love it. This was a quote, and I think it was in Les Miserables, but the quote says, "Even the darkest night will end, and the sun will rise." Guys, times get hard. Times get dark. Times get difficult. This is part of the reality of life, is that we will not always have an easy road to walk. We will not. It will not always be easy. I can promise you that. But on the other side of it, on the other side of the hard time, if you push through, it does get better. It does. Look back at every dark moment of your life. Did it get better? Are you still here? Yeah. Now, sometimes when you're in that dark moment, it just feels like the dark moments are piling on top of you. It just feels like they're not going to stop. It just feels like they keep coming. I get that. I've been there. I know that feeling well. Guys, let's be real. Let's not talk about how it feels. Let's talk about what the truth is. The truth is, dark times, hard times are a season, and on the other side of them, things get better. So, Victor Hugo said that the dark night will end and the sun will rise. Sometimes you may have to drag that sunshine up, kicking and screaming over the horizon. Now, when I say that, sometimes you're in a dark situation because you've made this dark situation, or because the only way out of this dark situation sometimes is you bucking up and pushing through and doing the thing you need to do. So, yeah, sometimes situations like coronavirus are outside of our control. Sometimes the dark time comes upon us, the hardships come, and really, whether it's our fault or not, we're the ones that have to push through. Sometimes you just have to let it ride. But honestly, we have to take responsibility, no matter what the situation is, for how we handle it, how we react to it, how we push through it, and sometimes how we change it. So maybe you can't drag the sun over the horizon, but you can turn on a light. So if you're in this situation where, okay, maybe your marriage is a mess. Your marriage is a mess. She wants to leave you. Okay, it's time to buck up. It's time to work through some things. It's time to put the nose to the grindstone and see what you can do to make this work. You might not be able to. That's sometimes the reality, but either way, it's time to level up. It's time to push through. It's time to be a better version of you. You may be in a situation where your finances are a mess and you're broke. Okay. It's time to work harder. It's time to get a job. It's time to be more disciplined with your spending. Yeah. Sometimes you got to turn on the light. Guys, I guess that's really what I wanted to share with you, is that, yes, this time that we're in, seems dark, but it's going to end. And just like any dark times, they will end. Sometimes they'll end because you stepped up and you did what you had to do. Sometimes they end because it just passed, and what you had to do was endure and be strong and consistent in who you were. Guys, in the middle of all the crazy, be strong, be consistent, do the right thing. You got this. Anyway, that's what I got for you here for the Manlihood ManCast. We've got another segment coming up in just a moment. We'll be right back with Ask a Man. Hey guys, if you've ever thought about starting your own podcast, I found some really great tools to help with that. And the first one that I found here, guys, is called Anchor. And it is what I'm using for my podcast host. And actually, they can create opportunities for you to get sponsorships and actually pay for your content, which is fantastic. So it's something that for me, I've done podcasting before, and I've tried a lot of options. And as I researched what was going to be best for the Manlihood ManCast, I was fantastically surprised with how well Anchor worked good for me. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcasts. You can do it all straight from your phone if you want, which is great. So if you've always wanted to start your podcast and maybe actually even make a little bit of extra money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start. You can join me and start your own podcast and join a great group, a great community of podcasters that are already using Anchor. Again, that's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Once you get it started, give me a holler. I want to see it. Thanks. Hey, it's Josh Hatcher here for the Manlihood ManCast. We are getting into our last segment here on the show today. I love to do this segment. It's called Ask a Man. And I encourage guys to hop on to manlihood.com and click on the top right there. There's a button that says Ask a Man, and you can ask me a question. If I can answer it, I will. Sometimes I might have other people answer them, but we're going to get down to it. We're going to get right into the nitty-gritty of it, and we're going to see if we can give you an answer to your question. If I don't have the answer, I'll find the answer. Okay? So, again, manlihood.com, click the Ask a Man button. Or if you're like, hey, I don't want to do all that, just send me a message on Facebook. Say, hey, this is for your Ask a Man segment. You can be a woman, a boy, a man. You can be anybody. You can not even be sure if that's a thing, and you can send me a message, and you can ask a man that question, and we'll get into it. So today's question. My dad left before I was born. He tried to be involved for a little while, but then just disappeared out of my life. I hated him for years, and now I'm over it. I don't even care enough to hate him. But I just found out my fiance's pregnant, which means I'm going to be a dad. I'm scared to death of this. I don't know what a dad is supposed to be. What do I need to know? So that's the Ask a Man question of the day. And I'll tell you, you know what? That's a difficult question. First of all, I'm really sorry that your dad left, that your dad couldn't be there for you. Maybe he could and chose not to. I don't know the situation. There's a lot of different situations that can affect that. And it really sucks. I know my dad was there for me. And so for me to understand what it's like to not have that example in my life is hard. I know that my dad had a couple of kids before. He met my mom and got married and had me. And there were circumstances that kept him from being in their life. And they don't have that same experience. And that breaks my heart. But I'm going to tell you, whether or not your dad was in the picture, whether or not, sounds like you're about to be a dad. Really, you are a dad. If she's pregnant, you're a dad. So what do you need to know? First things first. The most important thing that you can do for that child is to love his mother. I have no idea how compatible the two of you are. I'm assuming if she's your fiance, that you're in a kind of relationship that can make it work, that you know that you can make it work. If you're engaged, the assumption is that you know that you can be married and that you want to be married. So I would say get married. Go through some premarital counseling, work through a few books together, work on the details that you need to do. But you know what? If you are man enough to make a baby, you're man enough to be a husband. But you need to love that woman. Even if she's crazy, and even if you can't be with her because she doesn't allow it, or because it's not a good, healthy relationship, that can happen. I get it. Even if that happens, treat her with love. Do not ever let that child see you not treat her with the love and respect that child should be treating her with. Because you are that example. So that's the first thing. The second thing is love that kid no matter what. That is something, that is your child. You are a father. That is your son. That is your daughter. Love that child. Period. And I know that when my kids were born, my twins that came first on the 4th of July, I was excited about them coming. I knew they were coming. They were wanted the whole time. But I was a little scared, and I didn't know what it was going to be like, and I didn't know what to do. And I'm going to tell you, when they came out with everything I needed. I got to hold them. I got to see them. I got to realize I'm a dad now. And so a lot of what's scaring you is just natural and normal to be a little bit afraid of being a dad. But part of it is you're going to figure it out. That responsibility of being a dad comes with them. And you can do this. You've got to be the one to determine, I am not going to leave them. I'm going to provide for them. I'm going to be in their life no matter what. And you determine that before they're born, and you don't renege on that for any reason. You stay their dad. You stay no matter what. If you have, like I said, I'm not talking about just a relationship. I'm just talking about being there in their life. You be in their life no matter what. And if that means that you need to level up, so let's say, I don't really know you, to the guy that's sending this, I don't know you, but listen, if you're addicted to something, if you're an addict or a drug user or an alcoholic, get that crap under control. Don't bring that into your family. Take care of it now. Get whatever help you need and lose it and kick it to the curb, because that kid deserves better. And that right there is something that you need to be telling yourself a lot, is that this kid deserves better. It's time for you to work on being a better man. And to do that, you have to be open. You have to, first of all, have people in your life that can correct you and talk to you and teach you. And you have to have people in your life that you will listen to. You have to have examples to look to. So get around some guys that you can trust, that you know have your back, some guys who you want to be like, and learn from them. That is how you become a good man, which is how you become a good father. I believe in you. I trust that awesome stuff is going to happen. Congratulations. This is going to be the most exciting time of your life. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be good. I promise. Anyway, guys, that is our Ask a Man segment. If you've got a question that you want answered, go to manlihood.com and click on the Ask a Man button and send it to us, or shoot it to us on Facebook. We'd love to answer it. Guys, if you want to get plugged in, go to the Manlihood Man Cave. It's a Facebook group. That's a private group where you can join in with us and ask questions, interact with us, get encouragement, joke around a little bit. We have a good time there. We would love to have you there. Also, please don't forget to go to manlihood.com/store. You can get a Manlihood t-shirt. You can get some of the books that I've written. I would love to see you guys plug in there and get some of these resources that I've created. I want to put them in your hands. So please check it out. I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
If you want to be a better man, check out our website, manlihood.com, for blogs, videos, and more from our Manlihood team. And you can also join our private Facebook group, Manlihood Man Cave, where you can meet up with a band of brothers who will challenge you and help you on your journey of manhood. This episode is produced by Hatcher Media for manlihood.com. Our manly theme music is from Austin Sterling and also from Mark Cruz. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to the show. Tune in again for more of the Manlihood ManCast.